What's up, guys? Welcome to Disc Golf News. My name is Chris, and I'm here with my friend Cade. Last year, we actually played the match play doubles at Emporia, Kansas. So we thought we'd get together and make a video on the upcoming PGA World Championship, kind of give our thoughts on the course, give our thoughts on the conditions, and go ahead and do our grip pick six on who we think has the best chance and who our favorite picks are. So leading up to our pick six and to the Worlds, there's already been some videos and some controversy going on around Worlds. Have you heard about the whole Paige Pierce incident yet?
Yeah, I don't have a necessarily a take on it, but I got a feeling that it's going to be in the back of her mind, kind of going into those rounds, especially at the country club. But she's going to have to kind of wipe that slate clean and just kind of play throughout the week and just kind of keep an easy mind throughout it all.
I've had mixed emotions about it because, when I first heard about it, it seemed like this is Paige's fault, and then I read the next article on it. And I was like, okay, well, I see the misunderstanding because basically they told her she could go get the keys. She didn't know, and the younger guy was just kind of a jerk to her. Right. But it was sent out to all the players that they weren't supposed to be able to play on Monday.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like she knew, she should have known that she shouldn't have been there. It was pretty far in advance. Is it the PDGA's fault? I don't know if you remember last year, Brody Smith talking about how the PDGA did not reserve them a throwing field,
right?
So I don't know. This time it was like the PGA was just trying to cut costs and not get access to Emporia too early. Either way, that was pretty interesting. A fun thing is I just saw this pop up, and it's kind of recent, but got champ here, distance champ, not the official distance champ this year yet. I don't know if this is the official distance competition for Worlds, or is this him just?
It is. Yeah.
Okay. I'm not sure if they even have a winner yet, but again, this just popped up on my feed. But a lot of people know and love him. Double G, just crushing a casual, not very casual. It actually looked like he threw that one.
Yeah, he got some back into that one for sure. I mean, he's bombing something over 600 feet, and for me to get 600 feet normally takes 2 to 3 throws.
Oh,
solid. So
I thought you were about to say way more effort. I'm like, I don't think I've seen you throw that far.
I can't. I'm not even going to try to pretend like I can for the viewers.
But here's a fun fact about Cade. So last year when we were at this course, we did the AM match play doubles, but we also did a B tier, and my boy came in tied in second place at this B tier in Emporia, Kansas, and I mean that was a pretty big deal. I know you felt really good about it. That should have been 1,000 rated round. It said that you shot a 992. That was over 1,000.
Yeah. Round. So I went into that round just we'd had a long day before because we had played 3 straight rounds of playing East and West and then playing East twice. And it was just, by the time we got to the third round, it was miserable. And I just remember going home. We kind of talked about it. I don't know if I'm going to play tomorrow. I might just caddy for you. We had our wife and kids with us. And so we just we got the go ahead to go play, and I just remember went in there, nothing in my mind, just no expectations, and played almost a perfect round in my mind, and got a bogey on the last hole.
No.
Which kind of put me back and got me tied for third. But we started that second round going into that, and it started hailing. It started like a tornado was coming our way, 30-mile-an-hour winds, miserable, and I was in sole second place, and they said, we didn't play enough holes. So great experience. I loved it. It was so much fun, and just it's something that you have to go to Emporia to really get a feel of what those players are going through on a regular basis.
Meanwhile, I bombed my first round. It was awful. Yep. And so the second it started raining hard, I said, I'm out of here. I got the car. I went to a coffee shop, got some cold brew. I was hoping that it wasn't going to get stormed out because I wanted him to do well. So I was just kind of driving around town and stuff. I mean, in any other conditions, I would have I wouldn't have DNF'd, but hypothetically, if I had to quit, I would have caddied for you. But it was bad. I mean, literally, it was a tornado watch.
Yeah.
We had 100 guys all crammed in under this one little pavilion. It was awful. It was awful. But even before that, on our doubles tournament, like Kate said, it was so exhausting. So there's actually two different courses that they combine for this tournament, or the PDGA Worlds. What is it?
Supreme. It's Jones East and West put together, and it is a monster. I mean, I don't even know what the par is on it, but the biggest thing these people are having to look at going into this week is just there's a lot of OB. Especially looking back at DDO. I mean, you look at those numbers. We had a couple of the MPO that were in single digits under par just because of OB. You had terrible wind. There were some bad storms that came through, and just a lot of factors that went into it, and a lot of negative feedback came back from it just because I think even Simon Lizotte said something about you're taking out the uniqueness of the game by having so much just man-made OB. But I think that there's a lot of positives that were put into it. I love hole 1. It's kind of it's not a gimme. It's very much that island hole. This is a tough one just because you can lay up, but these guys aren't laying up.
No, he actually got super lucky in this video, which for some reason is kind of blurry right now, but he like hit a tree and then like hit the back end of it.
Yeah.
Dude, this would be, so we didn't have to play this hole because our layout was different. This would be absolutely nuts to start off on. Like, this would be so nerve-wracking having that little bitty window and that little, it would just be scary.
Yeah, just, I mean, any AM looking at this hole, and I look at this and I'm thinking, I think I could do this, but at the same time,
Brody hits
as he hits the ball,
there he is.
In all honesty, I probably should lay up, but I'd probably go for it. I mean, it's just like I said, it's the experience. I mean, you only go to Emporia to play disc golf for the most part, and so you go for that shot 100 times.
And I'll say this: if you've never been to Emporia, and you're from anywhere else that's not that part of the United States, it's so windy. Like it is like unbelievably windy compared to like what we're used to. We're used to like under 10 miles per hour for sure. Absolutely. And like while we were there, it was like, I guess it was average. What would you say, 30 mile per hour winds?
Yeah, it stuck around sustained 25 mile an hour winds.
Yeah,
which was rough.
Yeah, like I kind of have in between a spin putt and a push putt, and just trying to. I felt like I had to establish a new putt while I was there because like it just wouldn't work. I mean, like 20 footers felt like 40 footers, 40 footers felt like 80 footers. Like it's kind of, you have to play it, especially like Cade was saying, like with the amount of OB that's there, with the amount of water that's there, because that wind gets stronger around the water. I remember also in the same video that we were watching earlier, Brody and Ezra were talking about how fatigued they were at the end of the round. And it's like, I get it, man. It's so hot out there.
And even if you remember from our second round during the doubles, we got to the last hole, which is our playoff, and we have it on video somewhere. But
we'll put it up. Maybe I'll put it up in this edit.
The video where I missed that putt, and it's just like perfect chains, and it just shows how strong that wind was. It was maybe a little too high, but I mean, I hit perfect. I'm pumped. I feel really good about it, and then it falls out, and I just fall to both knees just in pure exhaustion, just knowing like that was it.
That one hurt, man. That one hurt. That you could see true emotion in that.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, it was nuts. All right, on to the pick 6. I think basically what we're going to do here is just kind of rotate. I think I'll say mine, kind of explain why, and then Cade can pick one. Maybe for a few of these, it might not even be our necessarily our pick to win, but like maybe our favorite that we would love to see win it.
Yeah, for sure.
Or maybe just a random underdog that we could see being in the race. So honestly, there's obviously a lot of thinking because like this is the world champion we're talking about. But consistency throughout this season, I gotta go with Simon Lizotte. Not just because of there's just so many factors. Simon's forehand has came such a long way that I think he can reach some of these holes with the forehand. He could be heavily reliant on that forehand. That little yellow and red PD, man, like dialed in with that thing.
Sure.
But I don't love when courses are like this, but this course is heavily distance dependent.
Yep.
I'm not saying like you just have a big advantage. I mean, like, again, go back and watch the Emerson Keith and Mason Ford versus Ezra and Brody. Like Mason and Emerson, they did great, and they're both stellar at the game. Yeah. But like, there's just some shots that like it just looked easier for Brody and Ezra because they had that distance to not worry about the road, or they had that distance to not really worry about certain factors. Like, okay, there's one hole specifically that like it's like a 400 something foot water carry.
Mm-hmm.
Brody hyzers it. Right. Over the Nova Stable. Ezra then just goes for a bomb, and both Emerson, he did throw a really good shot, but like he had to have like a really good hyzer to flat, stay there, and Mason didn't even make it across. So it's stuff like that that's like distance really does come into play.
Yeah, and I mean, Simon's had a solid season as well, taking home 2 big victories this year on the tour, and just I don't know this year. I don't know if it's because he's had a kid now, but he doesn't seem to be overthinking things. He's confident in his putt, which has been a factor in the years past. He's still throwing absolute bombs on the regular, but his touch game is something that I've noticed that has been really, really solid lately. And just like I said, overall, that's a solid pick, honestly, just because his overall game has been very consistent throughout the year, and he's won some. I think it was DMC was the last one, Des Moines Challenge, that he won on a massive that playoff.
That was so good. That playoff was so good. Him and the guy who won that college league last year. God, that was so good.
But to have that composure, I mean, in years past, we've seen Simon not be able to finish strong with those types of things. And with that kind of putt, knowing it was more or less a death putt at that point, he really came in clutch and got that victory in that tough.
Dude, I tell you what got me. You know me. I wish I wasn't like this, but like every little distraction gets me. He was on that hole 3, I think it was, where it was like the finicky forehand for you to be a backhand.
Yeah.
While he was after his competitor hit that massive putt, while he was kind of in his stance, one of the spectators yelled, and dude, that would have sent me because he has like a 30-something foot death putt for the I don't know what the difference was, maybe $7,000 or something like that. There's a big difference between first and second, not counting like sponsorships and all that and titles and all that comes with it. And like if you go back and watch the video, somebody yells while he's like getting ready. I'm just like, oh, dude, that would have been in the back of my head the whole putt. Like I would have been like, I would have been, my mind would have been like, why would you do that?
It would have followed you like the rest of the round. Like you said, hole 3. I mean, you're thinking about missing that putt. That just changes the whole outcome of the rest of the round. That's insane.
No, that was on the playoff.
You're talking about the playoff.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That was like if he would have missed that putt, he would have lost the playoff because his competitor, I'm forgetting his name right now, hit that huge like 50-footer. And it was during the playoffs, so he would have been done. So yeah, that would have got me. But yeah, Simon's been killing it this year. I love how they have like his like 16-year-old picture up here. Like they haven't updated it. They haven't updated this thing, and
well, Discmania has some other things they're having to deal with. Right? Okay, yeah, I think that's a good pick for me. I mean, I'm just gonna go with it just based off of this year. Ricky Wysocki is gonna be a force. Just
if he can keep his health, man. I hate to say it, but he's been having so many health issues. You saw him miss a couple inside the circles on the last tournament that he won.
Yeah, I really just think with Ricky coming off of DDO this year, and I mean, also take into account his health has been a bit of an issue. I don't remember what tournament it was, but he completely backed out of. I just think he's got a confidence factor. Just, I mean, whether it be his contract with DD, and just kind of already having a win under his belt this year there, I think it's going to be a big factor with him. And he has the composure, and he's a hard competitor. Like he's just super competitive. He has that background with his baseball back in high school, and he's just not going to back down. I mean, he's gonna do the risky stuff that even some of the pros are going to think is wild sometimes.
Dude, my first pick was easier than my second pick because, like Simon, like I feel like he has all the tools. All these guys have all the tools to make it happen, but like there's just so. I mean, Eagle McMahon and Paul McBeth's playoff and was it European Open or was just like nuts, man. They separated themselves from the field by so many strokes. So like both of them, Gannon Burr has had a heck of a season. He's got the distance, he's got the putt and these wins. He has a very fast spin putt. He only practices from 25 feet. He's very confident. His step putt is a killer. Yeah. So like Gannon's going to be a competitor in this. Maybe even if this was strictly my top 6, if we weren't sharing this, Gannon might be in my top 6.
He's just so young and just very composed for his age. I mean, he has a lot of maturity on the course.
Absolutely. So if I had to nail it down, man, it's probably going to come down. And then, of course, I forgot to mention Calvin Heimberg, which, I mean, as good as Calvin Heimberg is, I'm just not sure. I mean, this is a distance course. His putt isn't really as much of a spin putt.
Right.
It's kind of a higher putt that drops in.
Putting the pizza in the oven.
Yeah, the pizza in the oven putt. Not that Calvin doesn't have a forehand, because he definitely has a reliable forehand, but like I feel like you need like if you're going to win the world championship, I feel like you need like a world championship forehand, which again, like Simon like is arguable on that, but like I would still say if you put Simon and Calvin Heimberg head to head on forehand only round, I feel like Simon would have them. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah. If it, I'm trying to hold it in because Calvin's one of mine, mainly just because him and his partner for the doubles won the championship.
Oh, spoiler alert!
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, no, I mean he's already put in the work and has shown that he's ready to play for Worlds this year, and so I mean with that win with I don't want to mess it up, but it's Vela Diaz. She was absolutely killer on the course as well, being a huge help. But Calvin, golly, he looked dialed in from the coverage I saw.
So I've been talking and thinking a lot. I think I'm gonna go with Paul McBeth, and the only reason I would pick Paul over Eagle is because Eagle is kind of a wild card. Like I said, in Europe, he showed up, he did his thing, he beat the rest of the field by like 11, 12 strokes with Paul McBeth, and he kept his composure for the playoff.
Yeah.
If Eagle can do that again at Worlds, he could win Worlds. Right. But with that being said, it's like you don't see him, so like putting too much faith in him without seeing him all season and without him really having a forehand, which again didn't matter at the European Open. I keep on saying European Open. I don't remember that big tournament. Yeah. Okay. I just like, I don't know, but so all that to say, if Eagle is here all season, I think I'd pick Eagle. And Paul honestly hasn't been having the best season, but it's a world title. Paul is going to play his heart out, just like Wasaki. He's a competitor. He has more rounds to work with. He has all the distance he needs. You know, I wouldn't put him in that top tier distance, but he has all the distance he needs. Obviously, if you're watching this, you're big into disc golf. Like, he's like the Tiger Woods of disc golf, in my opinion. Like, it's not that he has the most distance, the best putt, the best forehand. It's that he has all those tools and he's in that top percentage, but he throws his best shot more times than almost any other player.
And I think one of the biggest things is we talk about, I mean, Ken Klima has the most world championships, but at the same time, we're talking about modern disc golf. I mean, Paul McBeth has set the tone for what it means to be a disc golf champion. And when it comes to this stage, even in his worst seasons, he's figured out a way to get himself into those situations to at least be able to win. Like even last year, I mean, he's coming off of last year with James Conrad, the holy shot. I mean, he put himself in the absolute perfect scenario to be able to win. And I mean, it just fate didn't have it his way. I mean, he almost won last year. It came down to that last playoff hole. And that was pretty much, I mean, it was Conrad's hole all round. He even aced it that time. But no, I think McBeth's a solid pick simply just because of his past at this stage. He knows how to win. He's done it 5 times. And I think that he's going to be able to at least be in that top 5 for sure. I think for me, I mean, I've already talked about it, but Calvin's my second pick simply just because he's already won, which, I mean, it's not even technically like a true championship. It's just like the doubles at the world championships. But if you ask any of these pros, they're going to say, I won a doubles championship type of thing. But, I mean, even in doubles, having that confidence of being able to attack the course the way that he did and be able to take home a victory even before Worlds says that he's ready to rock and roll, because he's also been kind of a quiet competitor this year. Just hasn't been performing like he has been in past years.
For my fan favorite, there's so many. I mean, Isaac Robinson, he's just been killing it. You know, it's hard to say if this is his style of golf. I've never seen him in a lot of wind, but again, this is more of like I definitely hope that Isaac has a chance, but it's kind of typical, and I feel like a lot of people would say this, but I've just kind of been watching him grind, watched him when he got into disc golf, seeing how the effort he puts in and like how he like really cares and tries to grow the sport in every way possible. I'm gonna have to go with Brody. I also think Brody does actually have a solid shot. I can't even find his name right now. Last time they played at this course, he did come in 3rd place. That was his best finish to date. He has the distance. He's been a little shaky on the putts, but he does have the putt. He has all the tools. Again, if I was making like who I really think is going to win, I would not put him in my top 6, just to be honest. But I would love to see Brody in the top 10 after this, after everything he's put in, after him and Ezra's all their content, and really just the impact he's on the sport. He puts out so much content that it's entertaining to watch. Like if there's no tournament coming up that week, or if I'm anticipating a tournament that week, I watch Brody and Ezra because I know they're going to put pretty good content out, and they're also upping their content game.
I don't know if it's just like me being biased, but I've always been a big fan of a couple of people. I mean, I really, if we were picking solid, like we said, I would put in as like a underdog. He's actually a really solid player, is Kevin Jones. But for the sake of picking like a favorite player of mine is Chris Clemens. Not just because he's left-handed, but just because, I mean, following him on social media, he just has a really good presence and has just always been super positive. And I don't know. I just feel like if he plays his game and doesn't try to overcompensate, he doesn't have the biggest arm, but he has one of the cleanest and purest forehands I've ever seen. And if he can just kind of his game, his picture's solid. I mean, but he just kind of has that. I don't know if I just kind of have the same background as him, but he also is another one that was just kind of had that background of baseball in high school, and then just kind of fell into disc golf with a couple of friends, and I just really liked it. And that's kind of how it was for me. I mean, I've always been super competitive, and disc golf is that way for me to unwind, but also still be able to kind of get out that competitive side of me whenever difficult things are going on, whatever. So, yeah, Clemens is somebody I kind of rely on, but I also kind of push towards him because he's a lefty, and we got to stick together.
I get it, man. I get it. So here is your dream pick 6. Let's get this locked in. Imagine if exactly this were to win, like
those are the top 6.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
We get a belt out of the deal.
How many total strokes under par will the MPO plus FPO championship score? Oh, yeah.
I would say through 5 rounds to be able to say at least, I'd say 33 under for the guys for sure. But including FPO, I'd drop it down to about 26.
Really? I was thinking significantly different.
Okay, but I'm also thinking back to like how DDO was whenever it was windy, and those numbers. The person that won DDO was barely into double digits.
DDO was 10 down after
that's 3 rounds.
3 rounds?
Yeah, 10 down.
Wow, and second place was 4 down.
That's what I'm saying.
But I do think that.
Also, notice who is in second place.
Yes, I do think that. Didn't they play in like the rain, or like wasn't the wind like?
The wind was like 30 sustained, and there was some. That last round was the one that was so rough.
I was about to say one of the rounds was like awful. I remember that, like super rough. So I mean that has to do with it too. So maybe All right, so that was 3 rounds, 10 down. 5 rounds. I'm gonna go aggressive, the best in the world, and they want this more than anything. Even though 4 down was in second place, I'm gonna go with 35 under for the guys, for the men's.
Okay.
For the women's, I don't really know the FPOTs.
Well, the FPOTs. There are some that are shorter, but honestly, if I'm thinking about Supreme correctly and Country Club, there's not a whole lot of deviation off of the MPOs for sure.
Okay. If that's the case, dude, this is tough. I'm going to say the FPO. Honestly, even would be an incredible score. Yeah, I hate to say that big of a difference, though. FPO. FPO. Oh,
even.
And it's none other than Kristen Tatar, which would be my pick for the FPO world champion.
Is another one.
Yeah.
Allen's another one.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so I say 35 under combined.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with that. I lost track of which one. So we'll go with negative 35.
All right.
Save the date. Sure. Save date. Boom. Submitted. All right. Well, that was fun. Any last thoughts about the PDGA World Championship?
I think it's going to be a battle. There's a lot of different things that are going on off of the course with a lot of these big name players, and I think for them specifically, they're just going to have to wipe the slate clean going into this first round. It's coming up in, less than a day and a half.
They're just gonna have to Tuesday on wifey's birthday.
Really?
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah. I know. I'm not even gonna be able to spend time over this week. It sucks.
I know.
I'm gonna be watching the World Championship.
Oh, don't say that. Oh. No, I think it's gonna be a battle. It's gonna come down to two of these guys that we've talked about, and just for the FPO, I got my money on Katrina Allen this year. Again, I think she'll go back to back for sure.
Paige, I don't know.
She's got a little fuel, man.
Yeah.
She's got a little bit in her tank.
I don't know.
A little bit of controversy that wasn't necessary.
I don't know if the ankle bracelet's going to affect her run-up,
Oh.
Thanks, guys, for watching. Please I should have said this at the beginning. Please like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time. Peace out.